were seized all along Bloor Street. The very first thing that we did was retain video experts to assist us with the examination of these videos. The videos that preceded the pedestrian light on Bloor, where the encounter occurred, in fact, were extremely significant. An examination of the videos would show that at various points, the Saab was driving, and then at other points, the cyclist is observed. Looking at these videos, experts could determine speeds. A mapping of this path would demonstrate that the Saab and the cyclist had absolutely no opportunity to and did not interact in any way. This was critical, given the original theory was that there had been some type of previous altercation or road rage incident earlier on in the road. This was demonstrably false. The very first direct encounter with Darcy Shepherd would occur on Bloor Street West at the pedestrian crossing that was located between Bay Street and Avenue Road. It was a walk and a drive we would do countless number of times to understand perspectives and to understand where witnesses were standing. The forensic examination of the videos revealed the following. At the stoplight, the Saab was sandwiched by a vehicle in front of him and a vehicle behind. As the light turned green, the vehicle in front of Michael started to move through the green light. Michael also started to move with the flow of traffic. As he was moving, Darcy Shepherd raced on his bicycle down the center line, passing numerous vehicles behind at high speed. But when he came to Michael's vehicle, he is seen to do something very unusual. Darcy Shepherd dramatically slows down his speed as he approaches the driver's door of the Bryant vehicle. He is also seen to veer in and come close to the driver's door. Despite no previous interaction with Michael, Darcy Shepherd appears to lift an arm and either swings or throws something at the driver. Startled, the vehicle can be seen to veer right away from Darcy Shepherd. The brakes are slammed on to stop the car, and the car stalls. The loss of power can be seen on the video. Looking at the video without the aid of experts, it would appear that the Bryant vehicle first stopped when Darcy Shepherd cuts in front of it and blocks the vehicle from moving with the green light. This was in fact not so. The brakes are slammed on and the car veers away from Darcy Shepherd in reaction to something that Mr. Shepherd appears to do before he gets to the front of the vehicle and while he is right beside the driver. Now, Darcy Shepherd did not continue driving by, notwithstanding that the light was green and traffic was moving forward. We know, and we see, that he swerves his bike directly in front of the Saab. His anger was now unequivocally focused entirely on Michael and his wife. Darcy Shepherd was described by independent witnesses at the scene as being in a rage, menacing, and tormenting the driver. Those are their words, not mine. Witnesses at the scene said that the driver of the car did not interact with the cyclist. He didn't say anything, and appeared not even to be making eye contact with Darcy Shepherd. Now, why, if you were in a rage, would you say nothing, sit mute, and not even make eye contact? The answer was simple. It was because road rage was not the narrative. It was the wrong narrative. At this moment, Darcy Shepherd was in a violent rage. The source of his rage had absolutely nothing to do with Michael or anything that had happened, and what was described to me by many who had encountered him. The behavior of Darcy Shepherd was beyond the range of normal, beyond the type of interaction and daily frustrations people may have when they're driving. It was uncontrolled, irrational, and unprovoked at times. And it was the product of a sad and difficult life that historically had been fueled by drugs and alcohol. Susan and Michael were completely exposed. The car top was down. The windows were down. A vehicle was behind them, and Darcy Shepherd was in front of them. There was nowhere to go. They were terrified, afraid, and panicked. So much so that Michael was now wholly unable to control his car. He couldn't start it. The standard transmission of the car repeatedly stalled. Michael couldn't get the car started, but finally it did. And when it did, it moved forward, striking the cyclist, causing him to fall right on top of the car. The video analysis would establish that within a split second, 6/10 of a second to be exact, Michael slams the brakes on. The entire sequence of events that you see in that YouTube video took 2.8 seconds. Speed of the car at that point was determined to be 16 to 17 kilometers per hour. What I've described is the video that many have seen. After braking, the vehicle reversed, swerved around to avoid the cyclist, and tried to drive to get away. But Darcy Shepherd wouldn't let them go. He is seen to throw his backpack containing a large U-shaped metal bike lock at the windshield area, causing it to either bounce off the windshield or the hood of the car. He ran at the car and jumps onto the driver's side of the car. He appears to be trying to climb into the car. The next series of events, to me, were extremely telling. At that point in the road, just west of the pedestrian intersection, construction had blocked 2 lanes of traffic. The westbound lane was reduced to 1 lane, and the eastbound lanes were similarly narrowed. The Saab is seen to swerve into the opposite lane, literally driving into oncoming traffic. The video showed that the eastbound traffic lane, just seconds before, was very busy. Some witnesses were so transfixed because it looked like the Saab was about to get into a head-on collision on the wrong side of the road. Now, it seemed to me you either had to be crazy angry, so much so that you didn't care if you killed yourself and your wife, or you were terrified for your life and were prepared to do anything, including driving into oncoming traffic just to try to get away. During that drive, Michael tried to stop the vehicle and push Darcy Shepherd off. Darcy Shepherd wouldn't let go. Michael wasn't strong enough to push the 6'1" Darcy Shepherd. During one of these attempts, Darcy Shepherd said, "You're not getting away that easy." He was deep into the vehicle at this point, his entire upper torso leaning into the vehicle. Michael was desperately trying to maintain control of the steering wheel, but was having difficulty doing so. At this point, there were only 2 options: stop the vehicle and be attacked by Darcy Shepherd, or risk driving into oncoming traffic. Driving into oncoming traffic, exposing himself and his wife to a head-on collision, at that point in time was the only way to get away from Darcy Shepherd's attack. Michael was in a complete state of panic and fear. He saw nobody around to help him. He could only think of getting to a place of safety where he could get some help. He drove, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Shepherd appeared to be no longer on the vehicle. The original report suggested that he drove into the wrong lane to knock Mr. Shepherd off the vehicle by striking various objects along the road. The objective evidence, the forensic evidence, would show that contrary to these reports, the car was not swerving and hitting Mr. Shepherd into trees and items along the road at all. Mr. Shepherd did strike an item, the fire hydrant, and fell off the car near the mailbox. Forensic evidence would prove that at that point, where he was struck by the fire hydrant, the Saab was on the road and had not mounted the curb at all. Michael and Susan drove to safety just around the corner and immediately called 911 to report that they had been attacked and to ask for help. The police arrived, but not to help. Michael was put in the back of the cruiser within several minutes of the police arriving. He was taken to the police station. He was held overnight, and he was released facing charges of criminal negligence causing death and dangerous driving causing death. That was my narrative. But simply saying it is never enough. And so we spent 9 months actively trying to prove it through objective facts. In this case, the video, which captured a portion of the event, was analyzed by a forensic analyst. The result was that the event could could be broken down, as I've told you, to 1/100th of a second. We did two things, however, in deciding on an expert. One, we chose somebody with unimpeachable credentials who had worked for the police and the Crown. The credibility of our experts was absolutely key. And two, the video analysis was not colored in any way by our narrative. It was entirely objective. What our experts were given was what the Crown had, nothing more. They did not have an alternative version put to them by us. I didn't hire an expert to tell me what I wanted to hear. I hired an expert to tell me one simple thing. What did they see on that video? The results were powerful, and it became one of the centerpieces of our evidence. And I had my belief that in the end, we would win. Arrogance, maybe. And if we went to trial and we won, no one could say that we didn't give the Crown every chance to do the right thing. Have confidence in your instinct, and have confidence in your narrative, and the confidence that the other side will see it. This is the constellation of factors that inform your decision, and when you act on it, you should have confidence in the strength of the evidence that you've gathered and in your narrative. And that's how I found myself walking into court on May to hear the Crown ask for all the charges to be withdrawn against Michael Bryant.
Toronto Ambulance, where do you need us?
Well, I was just reporting a guy hit a guy on a bike.
Okay, what's the address or location?
On Bloor Street between Bay and University, but I don't know where the guy is because the guy jumped on the side of the car, and the car must have been going 50 miles an hour with the guy on it.
Okay, so this is Bloor and Avenue Road area?
Yeah, Bloor and Avenue, in between University and Bay, Avenue Road and Bay.
And this was a pedestrian struck or a guy on a bike?
There was a guy on a bike, but obviously there was an argument, and the bike was in front of the car, and then the car just sped up and hit him. And then the guy went off his bike, and he jumped on the side of the car, and the car just took off with the guy hanging on the side of his car.
Okay, where's the patient now?
I don't know. That's why I was speaking to 911, and they put me through to you. So he's got to be around here somewhere, not far.
We have it at Bloor and Avenue, too, saying that...
That's the same one, then.
What kind of car was it?
It was a convertible, like Saab or something like that, a newer car.
Which way did they go?
They were going west on Bloor Street. But now there's people standing around. Oh, that guy's down on the ground.
We got to get someone down here because the guy is bleeding like hell and he's unconscious.
Oh, no, we're already on our way. We're already on our way.
Like, it's the guy who was driving the car. I can't even begin to tell you what a fucking idiot. Like, he was, like, out to kill this guy.
Okay, and he's...
On purpose, like, it was hideous. He took him out maybe 3 times. This guy clung to his car and he drove on the wrong side of the road with the guy trying to fling him off.
Okay,
And there's blood everywhere.
And he's left the scene?
Oh yeah, of course he has. He had a woman in the car. It's a black car. My husband's talking to someone on another line, actually.
Okay. I'm going to let you, that's out there. I'll let you go, okay?
Okay, do you need our numbers? Oh, he's just moved. Do you need our numbers for witnesses?
Yeah, radio.